morning, good evening, good whatever. Greetings and happy New Year. I mean, yeah, well, let's hope it's a happier New Year. Let's hope things resolve and peace breaks out. And yeah, I started doing this thing, the Wisdom app. Wisdom app. I kid you not. And it's this thing where that Vanessa, who's not here today, she's a major part of our team, has gotten me to do where I speak and people can ask me questions. Anyway, I haven't quite figured it out, but I'm working on it. But basically it was a question. It's like, of course, this is the new year, and it's time we think about our lives and think about this next cycle around the sun and what our part in it can be. So I think and if you haven't found the train, right, that you're supposed to be on, or you missed it, and you're aware of it, well, one thing, become aware of why you missed it, how you missed it, right? If you were supposed to be a musician and you went to law school to make mom and dad happy, something like that. But there's all kinds of ways we can do that. But I think it's important to put out there to God or the universe that you would prefer, you'd like to know what you're supposed to be doing, in this life. And if you're not there, it doesn't matter, then don't worry about it. That's what the Buddha said. It says if you're really happy in this manifestation of reality we call life, or whatever they call it back then, don't talk to me. But if you're having problems, uh, come to me, because that's what I'm here to do, to teach and how to deal with all this stuff. So yeah, so I think it's important. And in this meditation, by the way, we're doing a half hour, a very powerful track. It's called Neuroflow, and it's third track, number 3, and it's called Joy. And I've been listening to these and meditating with these the last few years. So if you don't know what it is you're supposed to be doing, or you just, well, I'll never make any plan because I never do it anyway, blah blah blah, all the old cliche stuff. It's time to show up in your life, for all of us. And so just get beyond that. And and if you don't quite know, I think the universe, and I use that word for God or for the great mystery, the great spirit, all these different ways of talking about this ultimate intelligence, which we emerge from and we are, et cetera, et cetera. I think it likes it when you put out there, what can I do? What do you want me to do? What do you want me, my New Year affirmations or commitments to be? Because you don't know. I think that kind of creates a vacuum inside, and a vacuum, we create an emptiness for spirit or God. He or she is faithful to fill it, and sometimes it takes a while to figure out. We don't know what we're supposed to do. I know Pam has seen me struggle with that question for many years as a younger man. But this is one thing I learned, is if you don't know what your life is supposed to be about, you don't know what your big mission is, at this point in your life. Well, prepare, act as if you did have something really special to do, something great to do, something important to do. So if you did have this train that was coming, what would your suitcases have? What would you do to prepare yourself? And of course, it's like a broken record with me. It's like practice, 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 right? Adopt an integral life practice where you work on, the essential parts of yourself that need to be cultivated if they're going to reach levels of greatness or levels of your maximum potential, which we have no idea what that might be. But it's fun trying to figure it out. You work your mind, your body, your spirit, your connection with God, all your shadow stuff, and your wounds, and your intellect, right? and say, okay. And so that means when, instead of just watching BS on YouTube, you go, okay, well, let's see. Ken Wills over here, Carl Jung, I mean, these different great sources of wisdom. It's like, don't just fill your mind with crap, It's like they said in the early days of the computer revolution, said GIGO, garbage in, garbage out, so we want treasure in, treasure out. So start acting and preparing yourself as if, you're going to be in the Super Bowl. And I'm using a very American sports thing. Okay, let's say you're in the World Cup and it's a penalty shot, and the whole winning for your country depends on you making that shot. Well, you need to start, and you may get that opportunity. You need to start preparing as if you're going to be taking that shot. Okay. And it will change you. It will change you for the better. And as we begin to see the changes in ourselves, it will start, hope will be born. Like, oh, if I can start changing through my conscious effort, no matter how kind of feeble it is at first and everything, because nobody starts out being a master of any skill. You have to start at square one and work your way up and through. And sometimes we plateau for a long time. It doesn't seem that we're making progress, but even that plateau is preparation for the next thing that we're going to do. So so why don't we, if you don't know what it is you're supposed to be doing with yourself, be brave enough to ask, because the scary thing is you might get an answer. And then what? Well, then you're responsible. Sometimes ignorance is like, okay, I'm just miserable and not doing too well, and the world sucks, whatever. Okay. Now, on one level, that's totally true. On another level, it's not. But ask. So again, kind of go in, scan yourself, do I, and I may be preaching to the choir here. I mean, everybody listening here may really know what they're supposed to be doing and right in that flow. I feel I am right now in my life, which I'm super grateful for. So ask the question, what am I supposed to be doing with my life? And how do I prepare to do that? What do I need to add to my life? And what do I have to let go of? Think that's not helping. That's contraindicated. Okay. So anyway, we made it here. It's 2023. And we all have a bit part to play in the great symphony of life. And sometimes we may be first chair, and other times we may not be. Sometimes maybe we're just sweeping up for the musicians or something. I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what. What matters if you're doing it. And there's this old Protestant song I heard one time. And it says, "Ready to go, ready to stay, ready my place to fill, ready for service, small or great, ready to do God's will." And that's the kind of attitude and humility and sincerity that I think the universe honors. So without further ado, this is a half hour. It's a really powerful track. So let's bring our minds and hearts together and sit up straight. Get your spine as straight as you can. If you can't, if you're laid out in bed, that's cool. I mean, that's fine. But if you can't, do the best you can. And like a friend of mine said, think you're one of these Indian temples, or from the East, where you see these gods and goddesses, outside the temple, and they're just like, well, you are God's son, by the way, or God's daughter, or maybe something in between. I don't know, but you do. So let's sit up and honor the fact that we're here together. It's a new year, and our human family and non-human family, the earth is crying out for us to show up and do the best we can. So what are we supposed to be doing? How do I get there? And then just listen to your heart, because we all have that source of wisdom inside of us. Now, as I said 5 minutes ago, let's get started. So this is Neuroflow, track 3. It's called Joy. And this entrains the brain to alpha, theta, beta, and gamma. There's a lot of really powerful things going on here. So, Creator, Spirit, help us to show up, be present, to go deep, and to be open to your guidance and wisdom. Hope. Let's do it. Well, uh, never sure how to say welcome back. We were all here. Uh, and for you who are listening to this, yeah, beautiful. And, kind of building on what I was talking about, if you don't know, what you're supposed to be doing, or, you're unsure, or you do, but you're not getting there, it's like, just prepare as if it mattered, prepare yourself, work on yourself, because I don't think it's fair to criticize the world. There's a lot to criticize right now if we're not willing to do the work to become part of the solution, which is John Lennon said, either you're part of the problem or part of the solution, and how we make our choices, what we do determines what side of the cosmic scale we'll be on. But let me it just came to me just now. When I was around 50 years old, I've been playing guitar and singing my whole life, and did a series of recordings and songs 25 years ago, a long time ago. Then I was living in Wayne County, Utah, which is so far away, and there weren't that many people to play with. There were no studios. And so around when I turned 50, I had always wanted to play the electric guitar, like Eric Clapton and Jimi Hendrix and all my idols at that time. And in fact, to listen to them was so painful, because it hurt inside, because there was part of me that thought I had some of that. I could do that myself. So a friend down the street from us had a vintage guitar business. And I went over and I saw this beautiful Telecaster, 1972 custom, the real deal. And I just picked it up. So told Pam that I bought it, and she was very accepting. Okay, good. And then I just started practicing all the time, because I'm always talking about practice, right? Integral practice, dedicated, ongoing. If you want to do something, practice is how you cultivate whatever that thing you're working on. So I just have my guitar right next to me, and on YouTube you can watch and learn from the world's greatest guitar teachers, and just absorb and play along with. And I was like 50 years old when I started this, and I was like, I'm too old to start this. This is something you should have started when you were 8 years old. Well, like I said, I could basically play chords, this sort of thing, but I couldn't play electrically, didn't understand it. Well, anyway, it worked, and I got to be quite good. And I played places and have people that tell me what's coming through me is really good stuff. So thank you. And then this whole thing, invasion of Ukraine happened. And I don't know, it just completely opened my heart, hurt me deeply. And I didn't even when Pam told me about it, I was just like, okay, maybe he's just trying to bully them. And, no. Well, it turns out he was trying to take over the country and do away with Zelensky and bring his special forces and troops from the airport and just take over the capital. And for 3 days, I just avoided it. I didn't want to get, I felt so painful because I have friends over there. And anyway, 3 days later, Ukrainians were doing really well. And so then I became involved in trying to raise funds. You guys have heard me talking about this. But anyway, getting back to the practicing with the guitar, the music, I hadn't written a song, or maybe I'd written one or two in the last 15 years, but I used to just crank them out. And some of the stuff I thought was pretty good. I don't know how I did it, I would tell myself. But anyway, I wanted to write a song that would express heart and soul and the struggle for freedom and democracy, and people to have their own country without being invaded by somebody who wants to be an emperor and wants to add you to it, because there was a lot of good reasons why I'd be better off if I just took over your country, right? Anyway, so I started working on it, trying, well, how can I do something that is just says it, that people can sing along with it and feel and join their hearts and minds into this very awful and noble struggle that's going on. And so started to get a chorus, just started to come. And Then, okay, I have a chorus. Well, I need verses. And then I sat down, and one day they just all came out. Bam, you know, and a little coda thing at the end that kind of put it all together. And anyway, I invite you to it's on CD Baby, and we've got all these things, and it's also Spotify and Apple Music. So if you have anything, just type in John Dupuy, and there's only one John Dupuy apparently that's doing this stuff, and that's me. And the song's called Ukraine with an exclamation mark. And so quite miraculous to have that experience of being able to write something, or creativity is such a trip. It just seems to come from a higher level when we're on, and all you can do is feel grateful and humbled by it. So my Ukrainian friends really appreciate this song. And my friends, non-Ukrainian, seems to think it's very powerful. So why don't you go and listen to it, and feel free to share it with anybody, however you want, in a good way. It's not about making money for me. It's for just, I don't know, give energy and passion and love and caring and support to these heroic people who are we're struggling for all of us, fighting for all of us that want to live in a free world. So yeah, check that out. And so that has opened a whole new thing for me. Now I'm recording an album, after 20 years not doing anything, and too old, I lost everything. All of a sudden this stuff is coming through, And also on the Ukraine song, I'm playing the electric guitar as well as a rhythm guitar. And Pam helped me with the choruses, because Heidi said, there are no female voices. It don't sound right. I said, come on, Pam. She went down there and added female voices. It's a really good decision. It's a lot better song. So listen to the lead playing and everything. And that's just, it's all a manifestation of practice. And if I'd gotten discouraged and said, I'll never play live again, I'll never do it, I wouldn't have dedicated so much time, but it felt like my soul wanted to do. So now it's coming to a new level and getting out where we can, where it can do some good in the world. And that's what we do with our gifts, to be in service to others and be an instrument of wisdom and peace and passion and truth and all that good stuff. So anyway, thank you for meditating. It was a long meditation. Well, it was a half hour. Really powerful stuff. Neuroflow, got 4 tracks. And they're all a half hour long, so it's very rich. And yeah, keep practicing. Do your inner work, your outer work, both sides. And because we need to become the solutions, we need to be it, not just think about it. And how do we do it? With practice and a lot of grace. So God bless you guys. Love you. Thank you.